All right. Well, it looks like I should have adjusted my microphone and my face cam before I started. I'll do that here in a little bit. Let me turn the music down a little bit. So this is Friday, January 20th, 2023, and today we are going to jump right back into some of the DominoUI related development that we've been doing. My webcam's a little shaky, and I think that'll be good. So let me just go ahead and change my camera real quick. Maybe I can do it real quick without the camera. There we go. Let's see if I can adjust that microphone. Yeah, that's a little bit better. It's right out of the scene. Probably should have checked the camera before starting the stream up, but let's go ahead and just jump right into it. I am on the latest head snapshot. This is going to be the DominoUI version right before release candidate 17 or 18. I can't remember what we are up to right now. And this one basically does some bug fixes for things like window, making sure that window is actually centered rather than off to the other side. DominoKit.org. This one's actually on the head snapshot as well. So we should be able to come down here to the other modals and just double check. That one's a little on the thin side. Wonder why it's so thin. I don't know if that was that way before. But that does seem to be working now. Yeah, it was actually off to the other side, so that's a good one to fix. But we're going to focus mainly on the data table again, just to make sure that we can still get some of the work done, mainly with being able to virtualize the live grid and making sure that maybe for things like Firefox that we're able to actually render a portion of the other rows. Before we actually get into that, I want to try a couple of things. I know that the search works. Don't really need to play around with that too much anymore, but I would like to come in here. Let's just double check my local changes. So only got the head snapshot. I was on release candidate 15 last stream, but decided just to jump to the snapshot for now. All right, that's the demo table, and that's the one that I want. Let's go ahead and close that stuff out. Get ourselves some working area. All right, so for the live grid, we are going to want to add a selection plugin. Let's take a look at what that does. Takes a little bit to load because it is generating over 1 million records. All right, there we go. So we do have the selection plugin. The problem with the live grid though is whenever I scroll away and scroll back, they're no longer selected. So that's going to be a problem. So we'll probably need to be able to retain selection even after we scroll away and scroll back. So let's see if we can do that real quick. And that is going to be in the live data store, I think. It may not be. do you get the selection? Is it? It's from the store, right? Get selected? No. Data table. Where's my data table? What did I call it? Oh, there it is. I just didn't go down far enough. Data table. Get selected items. Okay. Yeah, probably can't get the selected items from the data table anymore because of the fact that we are basically dropping some of the other records. So if you take a look at the other code here, it's just iterating over the other table rows and filtering for the ones that it's marked as selected, but that's not going to account for any rows that we had removed before. So that probably means that for the live grid plugin, probably need to capture this as a variable. Live view plugin. Live view plugin. Let's go ahead and capture that. Wow, that did not like that too well, did it? What is your problem? Uncheck call. Oh, duh. This is going to be a live view plugin of car. That was a lot of yellow. So yeah, we're probably, because of the fact that we are a live view, we'll probably have to ask the plugin what the selected records are. Yeah. So let's go ahead and create a method in here for list of T, get selected records. Let's return null for now. Trying to think of how we can actually test this. That is a weird place for that to be put, but that's fine. I'm gonna have to rearrange and reformat all of the other code before pushing upstream. So how do we do this? We probably need to add a selection handler in the init. So a selection listener. I cannot recall what the interface is for this. Sometimes it's just easier to do that and then just replace with a lambda. A little bit easier to do. Let's see. Did I keep any notes for this stuff? Because I was planning on doing retaining of the selection while scrolling. So that is the first thing that I wanted to do. All right, so let's see. Selection listener. See, that's going to be tough. How's that going to work? Because we're going to need to hold on to the selected records, but we also need to be able to deselect them as necessary. Oh, thanks for the raid. I'm not sure how many of you came over from the other stream, but thanks H3NR1P for the raid. Oh, it looks like it's one viewer. So welcome. Today we are writing some Java for the web. All right, so selected records. I'm curious if this is actually being called on deselection. Ooh, on selection change. Is that a good one? Oh wait, no. That one's actually just, that's not a callback. That's just going over all of the selection change listeners. Selection change listeners. Is this a selection change listener? Yeah. Okay. Let's just see what we got. So selected records. Probably don't care about the other rows because they're basically going to be deleted and recreated often. So let's come back over here and let's see what actually throws into our log whenever we select and deselect. All right. That does have the Chevrolet. Select another one. There is 2 in this array now. And then whenever I select again, it removes. But if I scroll away, scroll back, then I do that. See, I only have 1 this time. Because it basically deselected the one that I had before. So what's a good way to do this? Probably can use a set, maybe. So set, and then we can so selected records. That's going to be an interesting one because how do you deselect something? Because if we're constantly seeing selected records in there, probably need to check to see if it's already in there. I don't think so. So that's what the set's going to do. Well, let's go ahead and console out the this selected records and selected records. Because I'm honestly not sure what this is going to look like. Probably need to get rid of that for now, so I don't need to worry about doing the filters right now. So that one's empty. Or is it? Yeah, it's size 0. Oh, well, this one. I always forget how to navigate the hash maps. Okay, yeah, so it's in there. Then if I do that, and then I select this, I imagine that we have 2 in here. Yep, we have 2. And then this one. Guess we have just the 1. It's not going to be very easy to figure out what is there and which one's not. Because whenever you scroll away and scroll back, it's going to be in the global selected records, but not going to be in this one unless you reselect it. So the first thing that I want to do, let's just go ahead and add always, and let's see if we can at least retain whenever we're scrolling. Oop, I'm getting a phone call. I do have to take this. Let me take a short break. Sorry about that, and I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. So where were we? We were trying to do some selection. So I don't think I have any selection stuff in here already, do I? No, I do not. How do the other plugins work? Not plugins, but maybe it's the data store. Selected. No. I don't think the selection stuff is in here, is it? No. All right. I mean, one thing that we could do is to basically use a selection condition to keep track of what we actually needed to select. So in the plugin, instead of some of this, what if we did select all, selection condition of T, selection condition, there we go, this dot selection condition equals selection condition. Let's just go ahead and create a field for that. Let's get rid of that selected records. And we need to handle the selection. Private void handle selection. So in here, should probably do something with the, why did my keyboard disconnect? That was weird. Should do something with the data table selection change listeners. So that's the other big problem. So if you do a select all, unfortunately, the data table's only going to be sending events for the things that it has in DOM that it knows about. We should probably do something with that so that we can fire events to that contains all of the other records that were modified. So handle selection. So if the selection condition is null, we can probably just deselect all. And let's return, because that means that we're not selecting any. So if for some reason we don't have a selection determined, we can just get rid of them all. Get rows. So this is basically going to go through the rows that the data table knows about. Ones that are within the other view, ones that are in the LRU cache that we created a few weeks ago, and reselect those. So this will happen whenever we do the scroll, and we just want to make sure that it's an allowed selection for this data table and this row, and then we can reselect it. Of course, this will probably fire an event. Yeah, it's gonna fire an event. It's going to be a pain for anybody that's listening to the selection events. How's that gonna work? That's a, table row, but that's only for the listeners on the table row itself. I don't know how this is going to play out. Hopefully this can work in the end, but I'm afraid that I'm going to be sending multiple events in here. So synchronize with view. So optional of nullable selection condition. If present, condition handle selection. So if the selection condition is set, we can go ahead and handle the selection after we do the scroll. So this is synchronizing on the scroll. So then get selected items. Yeah, I need to figure out what to do in here. Get selected records, and that's probably fine. And that's going to return a list of T. So if the selection condition is null, we're going to return the data table, get selected items, stream that, map it, table row, get record, collect to list. Data table, get selected. Where's a selected records? Which is already doing a stream. So at least with get rows or get items, get selected items, it's streaming that, getting the table row selected. Okay. We may have to come back to that. Probably need to get the filtered records. I'm gonna create a new dummy table row, giving it the item as the next value. I'm not sure. I think it's an index. All right, so we do need the filtered rows. So let's go ahead and create a method for that. This is going to be a list of T getting filtered records. So here, probably can return a collections unmodifiable list of the filtered, because obviously we don't want somebody to be mutating that array list. And then dummy table row. All right. All right, so this is going to get a little bit complicated. I think dummy table row. I think I can Probably do this in the same class. Oh, I just realized that my webcam is on. Not sure how I hit that button. Guess there's really not much I need to do with this. It's only meant to be a dummy row, because up here, what in the world? Get rid of that. What was that? Where I was creating that new dummy table row. So basically, it's going to check to see if the selection is available for the filtered records. So basically, I'm just iterating through all of the filtered records. So if we did a search or something and filtered down the collection, we're not going to look at the universe for all selected items. We're only going to be looking at the filtered because those are what are available within the view. So then for each one of those, I'm having to create a dummy table row because we may not actually have that in the DOM. So it's going to actually look at other items within the collection, and it's just going to return a dummy table row just to determine whether or not it can actually do anything. And for this, I'm not going to add as a DOM element, so let's just ignore the init. That way it doesn't fail, and then we could actually return all of the other selected ones, even if they have been scrolled out of view. Hopefully that makes sense. Should probably document this a little bit. Records. So this is for all of the potentially visible records. They're not necessarily visible, but these are the ones that we can scroll on. Okay. So that's pretty simple. Get selected items, we did that. Probably need to do a deselect all. So public void deselect all. This dot selection condition equals null. Might as well do that, and then handle selection. All right, so then in on all rows added at the end of this, we're going to want to handle the selection as well. So any ones that were added as part of the scrolling, we need to be able to re-execute that selection. All right. I think that's about it. Of course, we haven't actually figured out how we're going to do the selection. That one I'm still trying to figure out. How do we create this selection condition to begin with? Let's see what that does. Yeah, because that doesn't actually have the selection condition in there. All right. Oh, I don't know what I'm pressing, but somehow my screen gets, I may have to redo some of the buttons on my Stream Deck because I think I'm accidentally pressing something else. Let's just go through this again. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we're going to have to retain a list somewhere. I'm just not entirely sure where. So how can we do this? Where's my selection? That was in the init. So this is going to be the confusing part. So this is the selected records that are just added, but then they're removed. So how is that fired? Data table. On selection change. So it's going to do one at a time, which makes sense. So even if you do a select all, it's just iterating through all of the table rows. And on selection change of the first one? Yeah, that makes sense for the select all. What did I do? Did I do a select all? Oh, I just did a select all with that. So let's take a look at both of these. So select all. That makes sense. How does it retain that selection? Does it? So it's just going through the table rows, calling select, and checking to see if it is selected. Interesting. So the deselect all has a selection condition specifically for deselecting. Are you aware of the new IntelliJ UI? What am I on? I'm on 2022, so I'm a little behind. What kind of stuff do they have in the I'm assuming that they have a 2023 out. I haven't updated in a while. Late 2022. Okay. Yeah, I can take a look at that at some point. Any big feature changes in it? And what do you mean by original? Are we talking about like just the previous years, or like original? Ah, okay. Coming in 2023. So that's right now just early access, right? It's going to be released yesterday. So that's just early access. When is it going to be released for good? Is it though? Because it's talking about what's coming in 2023. So if I go to just the download link, no, it's still the 2022 one. I think the 2023 one is still early access. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Probably, definitely not on a live stream. Or right before I have to stream, because I don't want to mess with my development environment right before that happens. Right. Yeah, it's still early access. So we can handle selection pretty simple. Probably do need to retain a separate collection for all of the selected records, which probably means that we don't need to worry about running through the selection condition against all of the fields just to grab the selected records, because otherwise it's gonna get weird. So how is that done? I did the implementation for this before, but I think I'm only setting the selection and ignoring anything that I'm actually clicking on. So that's not very helpful. So if I want to make this self-contained, I'm going to need to retain a collection of all of the selected records. So the whole using a selection condition is probably a waste of time. Not a big fan of this. So I'm not entirely sure how we're going to identify deselections. Yeah, how are we going to resolve deselections? Because if we're adding this.selected records, add all selected records, this will add 2. So then in this one, I can probably just get rid of the selected condition. Data table, get rows, if row. I mean, we're only doing a subset. Alright, so let's just get rid of the, let's just get rid of some of this now. It was a good idea, but I'm not entirely sure how that's gonna work. Let's just ignore this for now. We have the handle selection. Handle selection. I mean, there's probably going to be a more optimized way of doing this, but this should at least retain it. I just don't know how to remove the selection. Oh, that broke. So on resize. What? That's weird. Why is that breaking? Yeah, it's very possible. Maybe that'll fix it. That's a good first step, is clearing your cache, just to make sure that like any kind of weird anomalies from previous compilation gets eliminated. I was experimenting with Firefox, so it's possible that there were some issues with that. Well, that's taking a little bit. Not a big fan of this implementation, but I think the approach is to get something to work and then optimize later. Java 19 has virtual threads. Apparently now you can achieve the same performance as reactive non-blocking while writing and blocking normal style. I haven't taken a look at Java 19 too much. I don't even know what I'm using right now, to be honest. One of those things that I don't really think about. Mm-hmm. 18. Open JDK 18. That's what I'm currently using. Oh, that did the trick. That time it didn't have issues. So if I scroll away, I scroll back. This is a long list. Yep, they're still selected. So that solved that particular issue. But it's additive only right now. So how do I deselect? Because whenever I scroll away and scroll back, it's going to be selected, because right now we're just adding to the selected records and not taking away. That one's going to be a rough one. Because what is a way to do that? Because we don't want to have to retain like all of the table row objects, because that's going to be holding all of the HTML div elements in memory. Kids are home from school today, so I may have to leave and come back occasionally. We got around 6 to 8 inches of snow overnight. So my daughter's sending some pictures of our cat. All right, so vamping long enough. I am not entirely sure. So if I were to deselect, it's just going to send me the selected item that it knows about, which is going to be this one right here. There's not going to be any indication of removal. What other listeners do we have? None of these are going to really be helpful. Table event selection listener is really the only one. We're going to have some means of knowing that it was toggled off. I wonder if there's a way to let me finish that thought. There's a way to grab, because there's not a before selection. There's no previous records selected. So whenever I deselect, how is that done? Deselect, do deselect. Select children. I don't know anything about the children. I think this is for like grouping and stuff. Yeah, I could. I mean, that's a good point. I might end up having to do that. Yeah, I forgot that the individual rows had selection. So instead of doing this, we don't care about the selection listener on that. It's before add row. Selectable. All right. What is the project about? All right, this is with DominoUI, which let me do a shout out to DominoUI. That is the demo, and this is in GitHub. Domino Kit, DominoUI, is that right? I knew I was gonna get there. So DominoUI is a Java-based widget library for that's transpiled JavaScript with a GWT or Jackal. It moves away from the GWT widget paradigm that everybody was used to before, and it gets a little bit more down to the metal with HTML and how the all of the new layouts and stuff work with HTML and CSS. So it doesn't have the same overhead that you would have with the GWT widgets. There's a demo app. No, this is not server side. This is all client. Let me paste in the link. That is DominoUI, and they have their demo right here. You don't like annotations in Java code? Like these annotations? Annotations do a crazy amount of stuff. I mean, even React has annotations if you think about it. If you look at a React sample app. Calculator. Let's just take a look real quick. That's a test. That's CSS. Looks like this one is written in the old style. You would, maybe I'm thinking of Angular. I can't recall. UI view is not from DominoUI, but from Domino MVP, right? So in some of the examples that you'll see in here, it's because it's a combination of multiple frameworks. What kind of stacks don't use annotations? I mean, this is specifically for Java in the web, so it's pretty necessary to have annotation so that we can do code generation, because obviously you don't have the luxury of like reflection or anything like that on the other client code. I'm just curious what other stacks, because even dependency injection, good one for this would be, what is the name of that dependency injection? Dagger 2. That's also used for Android applications. That is all annotation based for dependency injection, so that you can use like a singleton and component and the inject annotation. And if you're using Lombok, you can get rid of all of your getters and setters by just putting the bean annotation to the class. So it really depends. You could just completely write a full class of just annotations, and it can get confusing. Selectable. This might actually work. So then adding the selection handler on individual rows, instead of the entire data table, we'd be able to add and remove. So if I were to select a couple of these, scroll way down, scroll way up, those are still selected, even though they were unloaded from the DOM. Now's a question: if I deselect Thunderbird, scroll all the way down, make sure it unloads, scroll all the way back up. There we go. That worked. All right, cool. So we have been able to implement selection retention. That's the important thing on here, because of the live nature of it all. So get selected records. We want to return a new array list of the selected records. Wonder if we should just records to list. That's not right. Accumulates. Yeah, I don't really want to do that. I'll just return a new array list. I could do an unmodifiable. Collections, unmodifiable, but it takes a list. Let's just do it this. Might be easier, better performance-wise to return just a list view on top of the set. I mean, I could always just change this from a set to a list and then just return an unmodifiable collection. I might actually do that. Array list. Collections, unmodifiable list of selected records. I like to be a little bit more cautious whenever returning data, because I don't want somebody to be modifying that list, because that would cause some issues with scrolling down, scrolling back up, and basically just broke encapsulation by returning a modifiable collection. Nice. I mean, it's kind of weird whenever you, let me scroll down a little bit just to make sure all those rows are off. Well, that didn't do it that time, but whenever I scrolled up just a while ago, I saw the animation because of the fact that it's reselecting it and it's making it look like it's selecting at the time of scrolling. Thread about the annotation. So if I were to select all, so yeah. So that select all's not gonna work. Who's actually getting that select all? So this is the selection plugin. Select all. Yeah, so this is only doing it directly on the data table. And it doesn't retain. Yeah, that one's going to be kind of impossible to do. Is there anything in the selection plugin? I don't want to tie plugins together because then you get into some weird circular dependencies. I'm not sure if we can do anything with that one. What is the selection condition? Okay. When he says it generates code, does it mean after compiling? No. Annotation processors are run before the other well, sort of before the compilation, but it's part of like you can think of like a C or C++ where it has like the directives and stuff where it's a pre-evaluation for your compilation. So it actually can generate .java source files for the overall compilation. So that's why you see a lot of changes to like the Maven compiler plugin to list out all of the annotation processors that are needed. You can also use the services in your war or your jar so that you can register your annotation processor that way. That's essentially what Jackal does. We have a lot of annotation processors to do things that we can't do in JavaScript. So it's able to generate all of the client-friendly Java that's then transpiled into a TypeScript, and then running the other closure stuff on it to optimize. Yeah, I don't think there's a way for me to identify this select all, because that's just going. The selection plugin is just going directly to the data table, and I don't see any mechanism on the data table that's able to pass. So I guess that would be a feature request. In order to get this live grid to work, we'll probably need to have some means of tying it into the data table, select all, deselect all, maybe events or something like that. Because it's not actually telling. Selection. Yeah, it's not actually telling that it's a select all or deselect all. So I need to write that down as a feature request. Partial implementation. Need to make a feature request for data table, select all, deselect all. The problem comes to play with the selection plugin. It calls data table directly, which will only impact the records available in DOM. Yeah, so I don't know how else to do that. So we either have to modify the selection. I think it would be better if we had like a select all event. So then I would be able to listen for the select all event on the other data table. So in like the init data table listener, is there like a table event listener? Yeah. Table event. I think these are just more for general events, right? Kind of table events do we have? Okay, so it's just a generic event. So that could be done for like a select all table event. And we can listen to that in here and just make a copy of all of the records. I'm not a big fan of that, but it is just copying their references over. So it's not doing like a deep copy of all 1 million records. It's just retaining a copy of it. But yeah, that's going to be an issue. That is not very helpful otherwise. All right. So we can't do all of it until we have some of those events. So Ahmad, if you're hearing this, I think we need table events for the data table selection stuff. Let's see which ones we need. See, and that's the other thing. Obviously, we can't go to the data table for the selected records. So if you use a live grid, you have to know to grab the selected items from the plugin, not the data table itself. Get selected records, and same with get selected records. Can't go to the data table. So yeah, select all, deselect all. I think so. I don't know if you were watching whenever I was working with this issue. Basically with the selection plugin, if I click this, the selection plugin is only doing select all on the data table directly, which will only impact the table rows that are currently visible. And with the live view, whenever we're scrolling through, it uses that LRU cache to basically pop off the ones that we're scrolling away from and adding brand new records. So there's no way for us to know in the plugin that somebody clicked on a select all. So it'd be nice if there's a select all event, table event, and a deselect all table event. I guess it can pass the selection condition. I don't know how that works. Table event, data table, fire, table event, new table event. What kind of table events do we have? Yeah, so if we can create one for like a select all, deselect all, pass it the selection criteria or condition, we'd be able to execute that condition. Okay, cool. Yeah, that'll be very helpful because then we would be able to select all of these and deselect as necessary without having to worry about scrolling through and, oh, there's still some selected. That's kind of weird. Or selecting them here and scrolling through to find that not all of them are actually selected. Table event is a class, so you can add whatever you want to. Right. I did see the other subclasses. So if we can just create 2 extra subclasses or a single one, could be I don't know, selection condition, I don't know. Because it's really only a Boolean where it's select all versus deselect all, because the selection condition is identical. It's just, is it additive or subtractive with the selection? Probably make more sense to have 2 separate classes, but it seems kind of a waste to do that, even though it's basically just a marker type. All right, so let's get rid of that because we don't need that anymore. Yeah, this made it a little bit easier. So take a look at what we changed in Git. Selection is just a way to say select these, but not those. Yeah, correct. But since the data table is actually taking a selection condition, it probably makes sense for us to just take that selection condition and run it against, because what if somebody called select all with a custom selection condition? We need to be able to run that on the live view plugin against the universe of records, not just the ones that are in DOM. So it's important to have that selection condition in there. So there's the plugin. I mean, I guess I didn't need to worry about doing that. Yeah, let's go back in there. Let's get rid of that assignment because we don't really care about that assignment anymore. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't think that would be a lot of work involved on getting those particular events to be fired. I'm just trying to make sure that this live grid works somewhat seamlessly with the data table. And there's still some minor surprises like this one. Yeah, my cord's in the way. But otherwise, that selection works pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and commit this just so that I can milestone our work. Added code to handle selection retention on scrolling live grid. I did other things on that too, but that's fine. All right, cool. And I did shelve the changes for the scaled scrolling. So this was all of the changes that we did last week for trying to figure out Firefox, the issues that Firefox has with the maximum element size. Add set row height method to the plugin. That's pretty easy to do. So I actually had an issue with the live view plugin where I needed to be able to set the height manually as part of the plugin. So if I'm in here and I have this live view plugin, I want to be able to set row height to 53, just in case I have like a custom thing. I don't know if that's good or not. I would like to be able to determine. I would like to be able to determine what the other row height is automatically. I don't know what the other value of that is. This dot row height is an integer. Okay, so it is an integer. All right. So that allows you to set a custom row height, but the problem with that is with the styling. Obviously, this is going to make the rows way too high, and it's not going to line up with the backing styling, and even the other. Oh, I don't have the other selection the same way with this theme, but you can see that the bottom is not lined up correctly because the borders are actually placed in individual TDs, I think. Yeah. There's a bottom border. So it's not on the row itself, it's on the TDs, which makes it look weird. So if I have a theme that whenever you select, it highlights the row. I mean, it's sort of doing that with the even and odd, and you can see the misalignment. So I think I need to attempt to get the natural height first. How can I do that? And that is mainly with any kind of custom themes, because I have a custom theme that sets the row height to like 28 or something like that. Something much smaller. What is the normal here? I think it's like 32 pixels for the row height. Yeah, 32 pixels. And I think that's hard-coded right now. Based upon condensed or not. Yeah, right here. Condensed row height versus row height. 32 and 40 for the normal. Right now I'm doing the condensed height, so if somebody had a different theme, this will obviously not work well. So how would I do that? Because this is on before add row. So it's not added to the DOM yet. So if I put a quit debugger in there, let's take a look at what that does. There we go, quit debugger, table row. Let's go ahead and run some code here. So table row 0 element. Yeah, say it's not going to have like an offset height. Yeah, it's 0 because we haven't added it to the DOM yet. But unfortunately, because this is, let me get rid of that. This is before add row. This is where we're calculating based upon the row heights. I wonder if I can just create a dummy row, table row, add it to the data table, grab the height from it just to figure it out. Before add row. So if the row height is not present, see, and this is only going to be setting once for the life of it. So this might be safe enough, right? Who's calling this? For uses for each on before add row. So that's for the tree grid. That's just calling each of the plugins on before add row. So then it doesn't do the draw record until after. I could probably do this. And draw record, I think this uses the row appender, right? Yeah, row appender. Well, I could probably do this because the this plugin is the row appender. Wait, yeah, let's. Is there a clone? No, new table row. Because I want to just discard this. So this is going to be table row dot get record data table dummy throwaway. Oh, that's going to be a problem. Oh, index 0. So let's take a look at the append row. What do we do here? Because this actually does add the sizing row, doesn't it? Yeah, let's just grab the body element, add it. So data table, body element. Dummy throwaway, get element, or element, offset height, Let's console that. And then we need to body remove child, the dummy throwaway. I'm just curious if that's able, if it's smart enough to be able to add it, grab the offset height, and remove it. Nope. 0. It is 0. Quit debugger. See if it's actually added. All right, so let's take a look at this table. Come on. There's the table, there's the... Where is it? Wonder if I have to do anything with the table config. Draw record, so it does table row. Oh, I need to call table row render. Sure. I don't care about the is odd. Don't really care about the metadata. Okay, that might be enough. Yeah, a lot of this stuff I'm having to kind of reverse engineer the widget library just to see. There we go, height 41. That doesn't seem right. Is it? That doesn't seem right. Why are those so fat? Because the row is 32. But why are the cells so tall? That doesn't seem right. Because it's supposed to be condensed. Yeah, that's supposed to be condensed. I'm not sure why the cells are so tall. What is actually setting the height on the cells? Ugh, this playlist is boring. Let me... All of these royalty-free songs are just... blah. They're okay. You see a height in there anywhere? So there's a font size. I think I saw a line height as well. Yeah, there's the line height. There we go. Those are just width. Padding. Okay. I don't know. I think it's because... well, it should be border box, yeah. Because this inner size is 31. Then it has a 1 pixel border at the bottom. 5 pixel padding all around. but that doesn't do anything. I wonder if that's, I think that's might be wrong. I mean, it looks fine for the most part. But that's going to cause some issues for the fact that we're adding the row. Let's see. What's the appender meta on here? I'm just curious where does the condensed come into play? Because I'm not seeing the condensed anywhere. Data table. Condensed. So this is just adding a CSS. Yeah, that's only adding CSS. How did it, how's it choosing 32? Responsive, there's TR. Setting it directly. Where is it getting that? 32. Where is it getting 32 pixels? Yeah, these are all just my code. I'm not entirely sure where it's coming up with 32. Table row. 32? Nope. Something is adding like the style directly. It's height 32. I'm not sure where that's coming from. Well, that's interesting that it's pulling out release candidate 15 data table. And why isn't it grabbing from head snapshot? Condense. I have no idea. Because whenever you add a row, it creates a table row. Right, but where is it setting 32 pixels directly on the TR? Am I doing that? I might be doing that. I think I'm doing that. Yeah, I'm doing that in my plugin because of the fact that it has to be forced into that. So I'm not entirely sure how. So it's just the padding? Yeah, I don't need breakpoint. Okay, I'm no longer setting row height. That's 42 pixels. Is this condensed? What's my demo doing? Oh, this is the demo. This is not condensed. So if it is condensed, I'm passing 32. So something is setting this as condensed. Oh wait, that's directly on. Yeah. If I do that, what does that look like? I mean, that's obviously going to remove the condensed style. Let me ignore breakpoints. Does it still work? Okay, good. So that's not condensed? Yeah, doesn't have the condensed style on here. So these rows are 52 pixels now. But crazy amount of padding. Yeah, this gets into some weirdness because of the fact that this element is 52 pixels. Oh wait, that's the TD. Yeah, 52 pixels tall. This is 52 pixels tall, but it doesn't look like it's fitting. The background color. How is that working? Why is that off? Is that let me set. Oh, it's because of the absolute positioning. We don't have the amount set correctly. All right, so let's try this again. But instead, the condensed is, what did we determine it was? Like 42? And the non-condensed height is 52. 52. So if I do that, that'll at least get my absolute positioning at least more correct. Yeah, that looks a lot better. All right, so let's take a look at the condensed. Back here, let's condense it. What? Oh. Ugh, big pain having to do all this. Oh, that's part of my background. I was like, what is that next to me? It's just part of the background image. I thought my green screen was showing. All right, so how tall are these? 42, so I was correct on that one too. Oh, so 41 is probably actually correct. So with my console, I get 41. So why isn't it 42? Well, that one is. Is the, oh, it's because there's no cell data, right? No. Let's throw that breakpoint in there and back. Can we do that? It's just reload records. All right. Oh, I removed the child. Before I remove the child, let's take a look at what we have in there. Why the offset height is showing 41. Yeah, that's 41. I'm not sure why this is 41. That is weird. Box sizing, border box. Wonder if that's consistent? What are the other heights that I can get? There's a client height. That's 41. Scroll height. Also 41. I have no idea. Get computed. Style on 0. Height 41 pixels. Why is that 41 pixels instead of 42? I think it's because... Does this have the border? This doesn't have the border, does it? Border collapse separate. Yeah, this doesn't have a border. I think it's because CSS, it's probably not putting a border on the last record or the last row. On before add row, because we don't add the sizing row. When do we add the sizing row? Whenever we append. Shoot. Because we're not going to know if it's going to have a border or not. So I might end up having to add 2 rows. Let's try it. Let's just see. All right, so if I were to... Let's create 2 of these. Throw away 1 and throw away 2. I wonder if I can just change the index. Does that matter? I don't know what the index is going to do on that. We grab the body, we render both of them. Let's go ahead and do TA1, append child TA2. Let's grab TA1 offset height. Let's remove child TA1, remove child TA2. Okay, let's see if that changes anything. New snapshot should be ready now. The event is select all event. Nice. And does it have like a Boolean for whether or not it was, if it's a deselect versus a select. Okay, so yeah, there is a Boolean, right? Oops, how do we event send code here? Oh, are you saying, how do you, yeah, Twitch isn't friendly for code. It's not meant for coding. That time it was 42. That was it. So I just need to grab the non-last item. All right, this is stupid. This all seems really stupid, but it only has to be done once for the life of this data table. So optional of that. Row height is equal to that. I can remove that. I can remove that. I can remove that. So even not event, it is getting into my head. Oh, right. Adding 2 dummy rows as CSS has different height of one with row separator borders. This is only added once for the life of the data table for now. I don't know if we can change it from condensed to non-condensed after we've added it. I think we can. It just adds and removes CSS. That's going to be a problem. Unless there's an event for that. Being able to condense change event. All right. So that should allow us to dynamically retrieve the height of the row without relying upon hard-coded values. Sweet. All right, so that's not condensed. Or that is condensed. So let's see what it looks like without the condensing. I think this will be good. It is almost 4 o'clock Eastern. Ooh, did you see that? Oh, it's because I'm not setting the height. Haha, because I got rid of that. Height. Oh, I'm in a completely wrong place. Row height, there it is. I forgot to reset the height, but makes me wonder, what is the height of that record? Why is it 55 now? I'm gonna see if constraining it, I think it does something weird with the selection. Let's just constrain it. So now it's constrained to 52. Nice. Okay, so I was having some issues before. I didn't even realize it. I was missing the separator borders. That was because I was calculating the wrong values. So now I should be able to get rid of those 2 constants. So now we're actually using the real height of the other row. just by testing the DOM first. And that works for me. And Ahmad said that there is a new snapshot available. So I am going to Maven -U profile Sona type snapshots install. I think that's right. Used a separate Maven profile so that I can not always pull from Sona type snapshots. Not a big fan of pulling from snapshots. I need a snack. It's been a long day. Still tired from waking up. Apparently there were some power outages in my town. Power went out here, I guess, because there was a bunch of clocks reset, and my deep freeze was, the alarm was going off this morning. Probably gonna have to check to see outside soon. See if there's more snow to shovel. Looking out the window, I can see a ton of snow coming down still. Alright, well, that did grab the latest. I don't really need to compile this. Probably should have just did process sources or something like that. There we go. Get rid of that. Let's rerun the code server. Probably should have logged out of my work terminal. People are seeing that I'm online. Alright, so there's that one. So let's run Jetty. I haven't even implemented it yet, but this should all be good now. So while that's doing that, I should probably have cleared cache since it was a new dependency. Yeah, let me do that. Well, not while it's compiling. In the plugin init, we want to add data table, add table event listener. All right, let's take a look at Ahmad's stuff here. So there is a select all event, which apparently isn't in IDE yet. Select all event. Are you there now? Still importing Maven projects. There we go. Select all event. Oh, I need to cast it. Yeah. All right, so then I can cast it. And then event is select all. All right, cool. Selection condition. Can I not? Oh, here we go. Create a method. All right, so for the selection condition, we basically just want to iterate over the records. So the data store get filtered records. Let me just make sure that we're doing it in a similar way. Select all. I guess that's something that I didn't really pay attention to, is the table config is multi-select. If data table config is multi-select and data store get filtered records. Let me make sure I'm not copying that. Okay, it's just a unmodifiable list, so that's good. Make sure it's not empty. And with this, I'm gonna have to do that dummy row, because it's probably not going to be an actual row. Hopefully that's not going to be a problem. But, so then I'm going to do data store. I guess I don't really need to worry about that, because if I iterate over an empty collection, it's just not going to go into it. Get filtered records for each. Now I just want to do a normal for loop. How do we, oh, I'm reading a really old message. I keep seeing something flashing in my peripheral. All right, so if selection condition is allow selection, data table, new dummy, I called it a dummy table row. Kind of wish I didn't delete it now. Public, it's not public. It's just private static. Final class, dummy table row, D extends table row of the data. Create a constructor, init, and here we need to, not going to add to the DOM, so ignore this. And probably just hard code the index, but this is going to be record data table. I'm going to come down here, hard code 0. Get rid of the index because it's not needed. So if that is allowed, then I want to this dot selected records dot add record, right? And then I need to handle selection. I couldn't remember the name of the method. And look down that list. There we go. So once we do that, we can handle selection. So we can also do private void deselect all. Probably want to make these public. Selection condition T, and maybe private. Because this will allow us to use the data table directly. And basically the same thing. I guess that's not going to be the same thing, right? Deselect all. When is it actually fired? Unless this is not the right... No, this is... I'm not sure why I'm still on release candidate 15 for the other source. Data table. Oh, there we go. Got the recent source, I think. Or did it just reattach? Yeah, there we go. So deselect all, select all, fire table event. Okay, cool. All right. So if we have a deselect, we basically want to do the same sort of thing. So for T record, data store, get filtered records. If the selection condition is allow selection. And this is going to be the record. So this is using a positive on the selection condition to do a deselect. So this dot selected records to remove record. And then at the very end, let's say handle that selection. Let's see if that works. Let's go ahead and refresh that guy. Come here. Let's go ahead and oh yeah, I never did clean. Let's go ahead and do a clean again. Yeah, I think I somehow may have gotten into a infinite loop here. Yeah, I'm not sure. Can I kill this? Task manager. Let's go ahead and kill. Oops, not that. Tab. Yeah, let's kill this one. There we go. All right. So while that's compiling, let's just take a look because I'm not entirely sure why that got into like an infinite loop there. It shouldn't because I'm not actually doing a selection. I think it was probably just a cache issue. Because I can't think of anything that we've modified. Let's just take a look at our Git stuff again. Don't need that anymore. That might actually be pointless now. Did I remove that? I mean, I guess it's fine to have it in there. I don't know why you would want to set it that way. But I don't think there's a problem with that. Because maybe you have to set it later. Maybe if we do monitor like the condensed versus not condensed, you may have to set the row height to null. Oh wait, that'll crash. That'll crash. Wonder if I should do integer, then do of nullable, so then you'd be able to reset it and it would be able to grab from the actual DOM again. All right, there we go. That didn't crash that time. I think it was just a weird. Let me let's get breakpoints. I don't want any breakpoints right now. Remove breakpoint. Oh, come on. Maybe it is still? Let me get rid of that. I need to figure out why it appears to be in an infinite loop now. That's not good. I didn't change anything that would warrant that, would I? I wonder if it's that. That's still loading, so yeah, that died. Kill that process. Let me reopen. Come on. Reopen this. I have a feeling it's in here. I wonder. So yeah, that's getting called. So deselect all. Handle selection, deselect all. Oh. Wasn't expecting that to happen. I probably need to have a Boolean like, hey, I'm doing this already. Don't allow me to recursively repeat myself. So, private Boolean handling selection equals false. Don't I have something like that already? Boolean. No, I thought I had something. Maybe it was in, I swear I did that recently. All right. So let me just do it here since it's only one spot, right? Should I do it on the select all and deselect all? Because the handle selection is basically just going to deselect all. Just so that everybody knows, whenever you're in Twitch, I think there's like a there's a way to change the encoding. if I go to the Vertispan stream, make sure that's muted. You can do the quality, right? Oh. Apparently it's either source or auto. You might change it to auto if you're having some issues with that, and that's gonna be kind of interesting here. All right, back to what I was doing. Handle selection. So if I do this, it's going to eventually get up here, so I might as well just do it here. If handling selection, return. Otherwise, try. Finally, handling selection is false. Handling selection equals true. That would probably get us out of our infinite loop there. Because it was basically just calling deselect all over and over and over and over again. Oh, I still have breakpoints. Did it stop at my breakpoint, or is it just dead again? Why did that take so long? Ooh. I don't know why that's taken so long. That is gross. Is that going to slow down my scrolling? Yeah, it is. Oh boy. I may have to rethink that. May have to change it so that it's no longer calling deselect all. If the selected records is empty. Yeah, so I think what I need to do, instead of a deselect all, basically just need to run through all of the table rows. So data table, bypassing data table deselect all to deselect directly on the rows. And we don't need an event for that. That might actually be a little bit faster. Because then it's no longer having to fire selection change events. Row to select. Because we're doing it that way, I'm not sure why we did it any other way. Let's see if that improved performance any. Yeah, that's a lot better. That's quite a bit better. Of course, that's not right. What is our... What's up with our sizing row? Yeah, what? Why is it only scrolling down to 645,000 records? Something's still doing math with the old approach. All right, so here's doing a select all. Excuse me. couldn't find my my mute button. Probably need to have it on my Stream Deck. Oh, that is not good. That just made the performance in the toilet. Yeah, the performance is awful. It's still running. Yeah, that's unacceptable. I'm gonna have to rework that. Because before we were retaining a collection of, I don't know if you were hearing me. We were retaining a collection of all of the other rows, and yeah, that's unusable. Oh boy, back to the drawing board. That was gross. I mean, that performance, I mean, I think it's just dead. So let's rethink this. Because whenever we are doing a select all or deselect all, probably just need to have my own selection condition. Do things on the fly. It's just gonna get really bad if we're selecting some but not all. Yeah, it's dead. I'm assuming. Yeah. Not sure what it died on. If we hit pause somewhere. Yeah, it looks like it's handle event, deselect all. That's unusable. So that's all good, but it's not calculating the full height correctly. Sizing row. So let's deal with that issue first. That's out. Console row height here is going to be row height get. Then I want total height of data store get filtered record count. So that's 5 million. Is that actually what was set? Let's find out. No. Wait, did we exceed? Oh, think we exceeded. I think that was 50 million, wasn't it? Yes, that's 52 million. So that's getting outside of the bounds. Okay, so that's not a big issue. That was a known problem. So what I can do is let's just recondense that, and that will be 32 pixels. That should fit. That should fit within the max element length. No, it's not going to, because it's 42. I was thinking it was 32 pixels. So 42. Let me just change this to 500,000 records. All right, so in the default, let's just change this to 500,000 records. That way we don't have that scrolling issue, because that's going to have to be a thing that we resolve in a future stream. This one should at least show us all 500,000. Yeah. Okay. And it'll be a little bit faster dealing with. But that is not helpful. Yeah, the problem that I'm going to have is if you do a select all and then remove one of them. Because if I do the selection condition, it's easy to do a select all for a selection condition because the condition is just returning true for every single one. So then it's a matter of, I'm gonna have to know all of them except for this one. I wonder if I can do it based on index. Each one of these have data index. That's representing the index of the backing object. Either way, we're going to be holding a lot of data. So we either hold all of it in the beginning or at the end. I don't want to hold indexes. That seems kind of silly. All right. It is 4:30 Eastern time. Let's see if we can resolve this before we go for the day. How long does it take to do a select all? So I don't need that console log anymore. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. So, how do we optimize this? Because we are getting the selection condition. You know, and it's re-adding to the store or into the other list. So I probably need to this dot selected records clear. Let's clear the records first. Go through all of the filtered records. Determine if it's selected or not and add it. And then I handle the selection. For deselect, iterating over the filter. Oh, no, I don't even have to do that. I can just do selected records. And for each one of those, oh, that's going to be a problem because of the remove in here. So I need to do an itco, and this is going to be selected records. Hear a weird beeping sound. Thought it was my deep freeze beeping again. Because the gain is pretty high on my microphone. I think I'm able to pick up more. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Iterator remove. So this time, I'm iterating over the selected records, and we're only going to deselect the ones from that, and that's just removing. Yeah, that'll be a little bit faster, because now we're not iterating through the entire collection just to remove things from the smaller collection already. Hopefully smaller collection. Okay, let's just go ahead and replace that. Gotta love IntelliJ with optimization. So selected records, remove if selection is allowed selection. I don't like the name of that, but that's how this works. Okay. So that's good. So let's take a look at handle selection. Yeah, I don't really need to do that, do I? I don't need to do this first one. Because what's the point of deselecting them all on every single time I scroll? I just need to check to see if it's supposed to be selected or not. So for each one of the rows, if the selected records contains that record, I'm going to select it. Otherwise, I'm going to deselect it. And I'm just going to silent both of those. Because of the fact that we have event listeners on the individual row selection, we don't want to fire an event, because that'll trigger the add selection. Correct. We don't want to do that. Okay. See if that helped. Improved performance any. $500,000 records. Let's just do individual ones for now. GMC. Scroll all the way back down. Wait, where did I lose it? Oh no. Oh no! Oh no. Table row, add selected. If selectable is selected, I'm going to add it. Otherwise, I'm going to remove it. What? If the selected records contains that record, then row select true, deselect true. That should be it, right? I mean, this is going to take a while because of the fact that it's creating a new collection with all of those records. That should have worked. Why didn't that work? Why? Row selection retention is difficult. Synchronize. Let's just look at the handle selection. Handle selection. So this is happening. Synchronized view from scroll. Oh. Are we still doing that? I swear I got rid of that. Handle selection. Did I forget to remove that? When did I add the selection condition back? I've teetered back and forth so many times on this, I cannot recall how I left things. All right. That one might be okay now. I don't like the select all. If I'm selecting 1,000,000 records, that's a bad thing. It's like I need, yeah, that works out pretty well. Shoot. Why? Something's still calling deselect all, isn't it? Deselect all. No, it's not. So, selected records. So whenever select, is select all getting called? Oops, I did not mean to do that. Select all. So select all is not getting called. So selected records. Let me find all of the places that we remove records. Here. Hello. This one's just iterating through, not actually mutating the selected records. That's not mutating selected records. This one is. All right. So if I scroll down, something's not right here. I mean, is it getting cleared? We're not calling this at all. Oops. We're not hitting the breakpoint for some reason. What about add? Let's take a look at add. So here we're adding. What does our selected records look like? Is it like getting bigger? We have 8. That's not good because that's multiples of the same one. we may have to store indexes. The biggest problem is because a grid can actually have the same record multiple times. It's going to be difficult if we were to have our selection as a set. And we'll need to know which index was actually selected. So yeah, I think we do need a selected indexes, because it has to all be index based. I mean, fortunately we are capturing that information somewhere. So this isn't that anymore. It's a list of, we're gonna do a set of integer now. Selected record indexes. I'm just gonna write this in parallel to what we have already. All right, how would we do this one? So for each row, so that's not going to be the correct index. We're actually setting the other row index somewhere. I think we're setting it as an attribute though. Yeah, right here. Probably need to oh, this isn't until it appends, right? That's fine, because we're only calling handle selection and working with the data that's already appended. So I need to have a private method. I know my method order's just all foobarred now, but it's fine. Get index from a table row. If selected record indexes contains index, then we want to row select and then row deselect. There we go. I guess I can inline that, get index of that row. Makes it a little bit cleaner. All right. Get selected records. Well, this isn't going to be there anymore. So what we need to do is we need to do a union of the selected records and the indexes. So then selected indexes. Let's stream that and map it index to. I'm just going to grab the entire collection from the data store, get filtered records, all that get at the index. Replace that with the lambda collect to list. Return that, right? Seems legit. All right, so here, let's find the next use of, oops, selected records. All right, so here, on before add row. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We can do that. This dot selected record indexes, add index. All of this is pretty dirty. It'll all work out. It'll all work out in the end. All right, so here, select all. This is let's go ahead and clear that. Hitting my mic. Probably just need to do, I need the index from these. I guess I can actually send the index now. I'll get to that. All right. How am I gonna do this? I mean, I can just do index equals 0. And then index plus plus. And I can do index here, and then indexes, add index. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so now this one, oops. Selected record indexes, remove if index. Selection condition, let's grab all of the records. So from the store, get records, all. Is allow selection, all get at the index. So data table, the new dummy row. That's going to take the record, the index, and the data table. Don't need that anymore. And now we can trim that up a little bit. Ugh, all right. One less place for that. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna do all this, yeah, I guess we don't have any more uses of that. So we are down to just using the record indexes now. I don't know if this will work. But this is retaining the data indexes instead of the rows. probably need to remove all of the other breakpoints. All right, so there's that one. Let's just do the simple test. Let's scroll away from it, scroll back, and it's not there. Why isn't it there? Let's see. Let's yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. Because of the fact that we're having to, unless I can figure out some sort of weird custom selection condition that would be able to handle even these. But basically my selection condition is it in a collection that I've already seen? So select true deselect. So let's just take a look at that, right? That's weird. Shouldn't that be calling after the scroll? Sync view from scroll. Handle selection. Am I returning? Oh, I am returning. So if it's the same view range, that's fine. Because we didn't change anything. Are there any other returns in here? No, that's the only return. So why isn't handle selection getting called? Or maybe it is, and the that's just not working correctly. Sync from scroll. Oop. Okay, yeah, it is calling it. Alright, so we have one item. Is that right? I selected it. I scroll. Do I have two items now? No, I still just have one item. Ugh. Alright, so let's selected record indexes. Okay. Come on. Let's just get rid of that breakpoint. That doesn't make any sense. So we're adding a record. See, I put breakpoints in every single place that I'm mutating. Oh. Was I just looking at this wrong? Probably just need to print out. So we have 2 entries. I guess those are the keys, which are the indexes, and that should be correct. No, that's not correct. Because that data index is 1. So the size is 2. I think it's because of the other value. Value. There's the entry, there's the value. Ugh, hate maps. I think I'm just recursively going over the same reference. Is it not the vacuuming map? Hash code map? Maybe string map. Let's try the string map. Nope. I think this is where it would be nice to have the pretty printing that Colin was working on previously. Yeah, that's not very helpful. So what is this one then? So the key, it doesn't seem right. So I have 3 of them now. So why is it 0? I don't have 0 selected. But yeah, refresh. Start from scratch. Alright, so if I click this one, it should be 0, right? Oh, this is before it's adding it, that's why. So the index that we're adding to it, zero. I need to remember that we're in arrears here. So then if I were to do that one, this is adding. So this should have 1 item in it, and it should be 0. Looks like it's 0. Index 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. That's correct. So we have 0, 3, and we're going to be adding 6. Okay. Scroll down. That collection hasn't changed. But let's scroll to the very bottom and do this record. 499,999 on the index. Okay, so the map still contains those. So it's just not calling, or maybe it is calling the code for handle selection. Probably need to change the name of this because it's really just restore selection. I wonder if it's because the index isn't there. Hello. What is that printing out? That's weird. All right, so these are all of the rows that are in there. Index for row. So we have 0. Yeah. That looks correct. So if I were to clear that off, if I scroll down a little bit, I should be able to use the LRU cache to basically dump off the rows from the other very end. So these are all there. Selected row indexes contains. Is it, oh, that's interesting. Silent doesn't do anything? Silent doesn't do anything. I can just put false there and it would still be able to do nothing. All right, so what does, because this just says selected equals true. It's not actually selecting the things. I think I need the callback. What does this do? Okay, so this does call do select and runs through. Okay, that was my mistake. I need it to the selection plugin needs to have the callbacks executed, otherwise it won't check the checkbox. Ugh, all my breakpoints are off now. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. All right, so add selection. So why is this that's fine. It's just so whenever you add records on rows added, it automatically calls the deselection on it, which is kind of interesting. Nope, that's me doing it. Let me pause breakpoints for now. Nope, can't pause breakpoints. I think I just got into an infinite loop. Yeah, it's not able to render stuff correctly now. Data changed. Synchronize from scroll. Load data. Yeah, this is getting into an infinite loop because we're seeing I thought we were. There's the handle selection. which is firing the on selection change. But the only reason we need that yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so that's not a bug. For the one with silent, it sort of is a bug, because if you did silent false, this should be calling the do select and firing the event. Just calling this method in general will silent it. So that's actually a defect in the API. I would assume. All right. Handle selection for each one of those. Yeah, and I'm blindly just selecting, deselecting. So here, if the row is selected, not selected. So only selected if it's not selected, and if row is selected, only deselect if it's selected. That way we're not doubling up on the events. Ugh. Sounds like my playlist is repeating. That's weird. Some of my breakpoints are good. I think that might have been it. We're adding. Let me just do that for a second. Let me go down, come back up. Okay. Did we fix it? I think we fixed it. Oh, I think we fixed it. Yeah. All right, shut up. All right, it does look like we fixed it. So it is retaining. So even if one of these records, I mean, it does that weird animation, but it's only because it's in the eyes of the DOM, it's a brand new row. So it's like, I'm just gonna go ahead and select this and make it animated. I mean, I could probably change the other selection on the other before. That might be an interesting thing to do, but I don't know which one would be a little bit better. If I did this, it's basically just going to add every single index to that set, which kind of sucks. And whenever we scroll, it's at least fast. It's a lot faster than it was before. I mean, I think we got past that. The only issue, if I were to do that, oh, I don't know where I was. Should have probably picked a more noticeable spot. Yeah, that works. That works. Thank you. All right, so that works. I mean, yes, we are holding on to an array or a hash set containing all of the indexes. So if you do a select all, it's going to hold every single index. Probably not great, because it does take a little bit to go over 500,000 records. Whenever we only really care about the selection of the ones that we currently are viewing. I don't know. I have something in my mind of how we can resolve that, because basically we just need a selection condition for the select all to just return true for everything, but I don't know what to do once somebody uncheck something because it's no longer returning true for every single record. Then I would have to maintain a list of the non-selected ones. So it's like I need to have a balance. Like once the collection, once the selected count exceeds half of the list, it needs to like swap it out and be like, these are the not selected ones, and reverse the order. So I don't know what's going to be good there. I mean, that would be optimal. I just don't know how to do that easily. So that does work. It works. That's the key. So here we're doing a deselect. Yep. So if I do that, if I let's re-enable our breakpoints, and then I'm going to deselect one. And if I come down here, look at this, and selected, yeah, we have 500,000 entries. So it's not ideal. Definitely not ideal. But it'll work, and we can work on performance at a later date. So let's go ahead and commit this. Let's get rid of all of our consoles. All right, so that takes care of that. Let's just take a look real quick at what we changed. We were able to at least consolidate the row heights so that we can dynamically get it based upon the current theme, which will be pretty nice. We reduced this to the indexes for the selected records. Oh, well, thank you, Ahmad. Mentioned something in Slack that he found a couple of bugs. Going to fix those. Good thing that we didn't do a release candidate prematurely. I'm glad that you were able to find that. Good work. Probably need a set index, the opposite method too, but fine. Selection, selected records. Okay, this will work. Fixed some performance issues with the selected records. Added dynamic height determination. Yeah, that's good enough. This is an internal Git repository. So one thing that I want to do is actually reorder this file to something a little bit more sane. So this is a static final package private. Contains usually like statics at the top. Except for like private statics. Those are fine at the end. So I just wanted a completely separate commit for formatting. That way I'm not mixing changes in at the same time. So why is this one here? Static final class. I don't understand why that one's down here. Wait, is this a class? Oh, this is a class. Haha. Okay, so let's collapse that. Okay, collapse that. Private static final class? Maybe. Usually like private statics at the end. Actually, I prefer all static classes to be at the end. Let's take a look at our settings here. Alright, so this is going to be under code style, I think. And under editor, code style, Java. Arrangement. There we go. This is going to differ from project to project, but so this is a private static final field. So these are all fields. I don't like that. I think I want this to go towards the end. How do I order? Yeah, here we go. One up from that, because this is a static and that's just a package private class instance. Interface enum method. I mean, I can get specific where I can do like abstract methods, public methods, package private methods, and then protected methods. I might end up doing that. Initializer block, constructor. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So let's add so this is going to be a method abstract and I want to order by name. All right, add rule. Right under that, I'm going to do public methods. So method public. I like order by name on those. Oh, I already had that. Let's just change this one to package private. Oh, I already had a package private. Now this one's going to be protected. And then just normal method, enum interface class. So missing something. So initializer block, method public static. That's one that I'm missing. Yes, all I'm doing right now is playing around with my preferences. method static. Yeah, that looks about right. All right, so let's rearrange again. Have something a little bit more sane. Do I not have a constructor? Guess not. Okay. I can get down with that. Formatting. Commit. That way I can be a little bit more consistent on this. Let me just refresh, double check. Never did get around to the scaling for scrolling. I need to get to that at some point. Yeah, I think I'm just repeating the same song. Am I repeating the same song? Have I been repeating the same song this entire stream? I think I may have. No? I don't know what that is, but I think I have been, I don't know. I'm going to have to go back through here. I may have been streaming the entire time with one song on repeat. That is no wonder I'm getting a headache. All right. So yeah, I wasn't able to get to the other parts. This one's taken care of because a mod came in for the win. So we are able to retain scroll selection. Needs performance tuning for sure. Add set road height method. Yeah, we're done with that one. Scaled scrolling, yeah. Never got back to that one, but I think I need to end it for today because it is 5:22 Eastern time. It is dark and I didn't go check to see if I needed to plow for snow again. I probably should have done that. So I am going to end the stream for today. We're getting closer and closer to being able to hand this over to the DominoUI side, and hopefully we can actually get this as part of the general offering, because it is nice to be able to have this. Let me collapse that. Taking a look at some of the recent changes that DominoUI has added. We have the ability to pin columns, and this is a live grid, so we do have all of this stuff available in the other live grid. So that is pretty nice. All of the other resizing capabilities, that is in there as well. So having the other combination of those two, pretty epic. And that allows us to do quite a bit of stuff. So I am going to end it for today. I appreciate you sticking around while I was just fumbling around with the other code. And hopefully next week we can actually get to the scaled scrolling, because I think that is going to be essential, especially for being able to work in Firefox, because Firefox has an issue whenever it gets to like 4 million pixels. Once it gets to that point, summary plugin. Yeah, I need to go through a lot of these plugins. I haven't even used. It's basically, I'm only looking at the ones that I'm currently needing. I haven't really looked at the others too much. That one might be an issue if it's what I think it is. Can't use grouping I've already determined that grouping is going to require too much state handling to be able to do that with a live grid. So that one's not going to be supported for the first time. Tree, that's not going to be supported. How far down is this? Probably need to break these out into sub pages, because scrolling through here, trying to find oh, nice. You did add it. That's cool. I'm glad you added that group. Summary, there it is. What does the summary plugin do? So it just adds a row at the very end. That might actually work. Might. Probably not, to be honest. Because I'm assuming it's probably grabbing the rows. I don't know. We can try that next time, but I do need to wrap it up for today. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, so join me next week whenever we get to more of the DominoUI data table stuff. Take it easy.